Welcome back to my channel. It actually has been a little while since I recorded something. You guys haven't noticed that because I was able to upload like a professional YouTuber for the past few weeks, but I actually moved in the meanwhile, so space-wise a lot of things has changed. This is my first video where I'm actually recording in my own house now. Well, in my new house. And I'm very excited about it. I hope that this brings a lot of like the new year, new house. It just brings a lot of blessings and happiness to our little family. On that note, this is what I want to talk about this week's video. This video, I will be talking about two things that I have done and really benefited in the past. And the first one I want to mention is, you can think of it as like a wish box. That is where you make a wish and be as specific as you can. Write that wish on a piece of paper, fold it, put it into a box, and hopefully forget about it. Forget about that box. And I'm going to be very personal here and talk about my own story. And I remember this like it was yesterday. I remember I had this box, like a brown box, where I painted it myself. And I remember writing, I want to get into Koç or Boğaziçi, and I want to study either law or international relations. At that time, this was as specific as I could get because I didn't know which one or which subject that I wanted to study. I wrote something about like the scholarship amount that I would like to receive, hopefully if I get into one of those schools. And I remember this was the last year of high school. I remember when I opened that box, a few years later when I was in university, I was studying international relations in Koç. I remember writing it down and opening that note like it was yesterday. So I truly believe the power of asking for something from the universe. And yes, I'm one of those people, one of those annoying people who believe in the power of the universe. And I truly believe if you ask something from the universe, you will get it in return. You just have to know how to ask. And hopefully I will maybe able to give you some inspo about that. And the reason I said like annoying, because there's no, obviously, if you guys didn't know, there's no like scientific, as far as I know, rationale behind this. But I truly believe, like for example, parking spots. I never worry about parking spots because I know, okay, I will find something. Like, what am I gonna do with the car if I can't find a parking spot? Like, I can't fold it in and put it in my pocket. And I never have issues with parking. Whereas my partner, he is always worried about it and he always has issues about it. And I'm saying, I always tell him, you are giving such negative energy to the universe about parking that is what you get in return. Whereas I'm always being positive about it and I'm always sending like thoughts about me being able to find a parking spot, that I feel like the alternative doesn't even happen. Like I said, there's no scientific rationale or scientific research. If there is, let me know. But I benefit from this, and I truly think you receive what you ask for. Like I said, write down your wishes, your wildest dreams, your biggest wishes, and be as specific as you can. Put them into a box and put them aside. And there's no, by the way, none of these require 2023 or 2024 or a new year. But a new year for me just symbolizes beginnings, a chance to be yourself, and new visions and new wishes, basically. And those wishes don't have to be a yearly thing. You know, that could be something maybe you would get in 10 years time. But write them down. Write your wildest dreams. Put them, make sure that they're on like a small piece of paper, and then fold them and then put them in a box and put the box away. So this is number one. And number two is what some people call an action plan, or I'm not sure if this is like a vision board, but this is, I'm going to explain it. I am a firm believer of, yeah, you make wishes and you ask from the universe, but whatever. But universe will not bring something to you unless you work for it. So it's not this like a magical snap where, yes, you get what you asked for. You ask for something, you make a channel for for it to arrive to you, but you also need to put the effort, you know. Luck, like, I guess what some people call luck would be like universe working for you. I'm going to be talking about my previous example here, like how I wanted to get into culture to study international relations or law. And then on this action plan, I would take that wish, turn it into a more general statement. And this is to include other possible good schools that I could get into. For example, if I am as specific as 2 schools, what if I get into Harvard? Am I going to say no? Obviously not. So we take that wish, that ultimate, wildest wish, turn it into a general statement and say, I want to get into a very good school to study social sciences, full stop. And once you make that statement, once you have a general statement about what you would like to achieve, then you would break it down. Because in order to get into a good school, you need to pass a certain exam or get a good grade or something, whatever that works in your country. Here, we need to take the university exam. And in order to be successful in a university exam, I need to rank at this level. And for that, I need to work in a year how many hours that you would need to study. Maybe you have so much to learn, maybe you don't have as much to catch up on. And then from there, that yearly would turn into monthly, and then weekly, and a daily basis. So on a given day, you would know how many hours you need to work for that goal. Because those wishes, those goals don't mean anything unless you put the work into it. And I'm giving this example just because this is what was my dream and what actually came to life. But this is applicable to nearly everything. For example, if you want to buy a new car, if you want to get promoted, all of these, there's a way to get there. You know the way to get there. You know how much you need to spend or save, or how much you need to work, or what course of action you need to take. Deep down, you do know that. So it's up to you to turn that into an action plan. And then from there, I would start thinking about how I can enrich this plan. Because we have 24 hours. Everybody has the same amount of time. So it doesn't necessarily mean that sometimes you need to work more or study more. Sometimes you just need to study smarter or work smarter. So in that part, you could try to make a plan and try to ask for help. Is there a mentor that I could ask help from? Or would any of my teachers would be like extra assistants? Is there anyone who did this before me, who got into this school, who got into this major, who would be able to help me out? And then if all of this fails, what would be my plan B and plan C? So once you have that action plan where you take your visions and make them into actual actionable points where you know that is enriched with smarter working methods, then you should have some check-ins with yourself. For example, maybe every month or every 2 weeks, every 2 months, whatever your pace is, whatever the time you set for yourself, and whatever that makes sense for you, you should have those check-ins. And even if you feel like you're disappointing yourself or you're not going according to the first action plan you created, it is very important to be honest with yourself and be understanding and compassionate towards yourself. Have those check-ins, be truthful, and revise your plan accordingly. You don't have to change your end goal. You just need to change how you would get there. And sometimes your end goal will change. Our dreams change in time, and that's okay, but that doesn't mean that you haven't learned from the process. You're always going to be learning something from the process, and even if your goals change, that could still be beneficial. Or even if the end goal is different, maybe you will be able to get there with the actions that you have taken. Even if you have a very bad check-in according to you, like a bad check-in according to yourself, or you had a very good one, revising what's happening or what you're doing is part of the journey. One thing that I think a lot of us struggle is, as much as we would like to trust that we will get there, we have a tendency to not ask for help. If there's anyone that's like maybe 5 to 10 years ahead of you, reach out to them. Those people probably struggled with the same issues that you're currently facing. I think we have a tendency to assume everybody except us figured it all out. But that's probably not true. Nobody around you figured out everything that they're doing in life. But maybe, again, maybe that's my thought. Maybe everybody figured it out. But all I'm saying is everybody struggles in different formats, but everybody does struggle. It's important for you to ask for help, to reach out, and to never be afraid of asking questions. And then I think that's where the universe will give you a push. Once you put all the effort, once you've done everything you could, then you say it's in God's hands, the universe's hands, then that's where luck will follow. You know, things bigger than you will follow, and then you achieve those dreams. One way or other, I think we all achieve what we put to life. Whatever we're asking for, I think it's going to come to you. And then some people will say, well, you're lucky, or you had that support, you had this support. And then maybe nobody will know how much you worked for it, how much you put that out there, and how much you sacrificed for it. But does it really matter? You know your inner self, and that's all that matters. Those were the two things that I wanted to talk about today. Number one, your visions. Write them down on a piece of paper, fold them, put them away, and check them in like 10 years and see the beauty of all coming together. And then have a real actionable plan where you take those visions and you put them into an actual strategy and an actual plan where you work towards them every single day. No matter how small or how big they are, never be afraid of dreaming the wildest dreams you can dream of, and whatever makes you happy. Thank you very much for your amazing feedback with me coming back. A lot of personal messages, just reaching out to me means the world. It makes me so happy to get such positive feedback from all of you. And again, if there's anything that you'd like to see from me, just write them in the comments and share this video with people who you think would be interested in these kind of topics, in what I'm talking about, in what I'm saying. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next week with another one. Thank you. Bye.